Welcome, guys. Ah, welcome. So, today's episode, straight to the point, I'm gonna cover the 5 things that I've learned from being a young, small entrepreneur. I've been in this space for more than a year now. So, all those lessons, by the way, that I've learned them the hard way. Uh, uh, so yeah, I'm not copying someone else. I'm not copying other people's knowledge and trying to feed you everything here from other people. So anyway, the first thing that I've learned the hard way is leverage. I thought that running a small business, that's what I thought. Running a small business is I need to take care of everything and manage everything and do everything. I used to do the service delivery, I used to do the cold calling, I used to manage the clients, I used to manage the customers, etc. Every single detail. Now I did that because it's honestly it's like I feel like if you know how to use leverage, because it's a double-edged sword. If you know how to use it, you're gonna go far. But if you do everything alone, you're gonna do things fast and learn a lot of things and learn a lot of different aspects in your business. So I did everything. I wore different hats in the business, and yes, I've learned how to manage clients. I learned how to do service delivery. I learned how to do everything, but I didn't quite come close. Like I didn't go near to the vision that I have this year, which is to have a successful company that keeps running by itself, like a well-oiled machine that keeps producing without you interrupting it. So after I kept researching, I found that I had no leverage in my business. I used nothing. There are 4 ways of leverage that I've learned. The first one is code. A lot of people use code. If you know how to use code, you can multiply your efforts by just running a small code, and that code keeps running in the background and keeps printing you money if you know how to use it. I don't know how to use code, but it's one of the ways of leverage. Content, a lot of people that I know, they use content in order to bring customers to their business. Capital, which is what I use, how to allocate capital and make sure it goes in the right place, in the right businesses, in the right investments, etc. But yeah, and collaboration, people, which is what I suffered with in my business. I didn't know how to leverage to people the tasks that I needed to leverage to them, and that what kept me, I guess, stuck in my place, getting the same results over and over and over. I'm doing good, but I'm not doing great. So that's the first problem that I suffered with, which is leverage. The second problem, having enough proof. Last year when I started, I thought that giving promises, I was still in high school, by the way. Not last year. Sorry. Yeah, relatively last year, the beginning of the last year, I was still in high school. I kept giving promises to people that I'm gonna do this and this, and this is how you're gonna achieve the results, blah blah blah. This is the results you're gonna get. But every time I gave promises, I quite frankly underdelivered because I was so new to the game, and therefore I lost the client. So I've learned that having enough people showing your results that you have given them, it's way more powerful than you giving promises and wasting your energy and time on people trying to convince them that whatever you have to sell, whatever you're selling, product, service, whatever it is going to fix them. I'm I'm speaking B2B and B2C, both. So I've learned that having proof, which is testimonials, etc., it's so powerful that even if you have a relatively bad offer, like you will get sales directly, no question about it. So that's the second thing. Yeah. Now the third thing, which is the most frustrating thing, because there's a book that I read, was wrote by Andrew Wilkinson, which is, I think, from barista to billionaire. He speaks about never enough, having never enough money, like never enough. Always you're striving to for the better. Someone in the entrepreneurship journey, he have, for example, a 10 million business. You ask him what is the amount of money that he needs. He gonna double that. He will say that I need 100 million business. So the reason I mentioned this book is because I've learned when to say no. I've learned when to say no to flashy new business opportunities. If you watch the movie The Matrix, you're gonna know the woman in the red dress. So this is like, a lot of people talk about this, but they don't understand how powerful it is. That it is so powerful that it keeps you always running in this cycle. It's also it also drains your energy because you have this fixed goal. A lot of people have this fixed goal. Let's give an example. Someone who wants to build uh, a $10 million business, right? I'm not throwing numbers out of the game. Like there are people actually doing it. So let's say someone want to build a $10 million business and he's just starting today. What I did, I thought that in order to start a $10 million business, you need to start a $10 million business, like directly, just jump into it. But what I've learned the hard way is you need, in order to get to point Z, like let's say that your dream equals your vision, let's say that your vision equals dream Z, point Z. In order to get to point Z, you can't just jump from point A to Z. You need to jump from point A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. So those small steps that you're taking in order to get to the last point, which is your vision, are the different business models, the different small steps, small wins that you need to take in order to have to get the right knowledge and right experience so you can achieve the vision. So for someone just starting, he can't just start a $10 million business, because I've quite personally last year thought that I can start the business, and it was honestly like my decisions last year were completely driven by ego. Now, when I look back at them, like I say, oh, holy crap, what I'm doing! Like I lost a lot of money. I, I, I thought that I'm doing everything right, but quite frankly, I didn't. And that's because I also didn't have someone to guide me, which is another problem, but this is a small minor problem. It is effective, but a small minor problem. I didn't have someone to guide me and show me what to do exactly. But yeah, I've learned when to say no. Starting the $10 million business is not suitable for the phase that I'm in, because I can't start a business that requires 50 people to run when I'm just starting out my entrepreneurial journey. Every business model has its right time, even if you have the capital to start one. You will probably lose it because you will lack the ignor. You'll probably lose it due to ignorance, right? So what takes you from 1K to 10K is different than what will take you from 10K to 100K. It's also different, by the way, than what will take you from 10 million to 100 million. So every vehicle takes you to a different destination, and you should understand what type of vehicle you need to take. This this is very crucial because I suffered with this a lot, and once I fixed it, I saved a lot of time. I saved a lot of self sabotaging myself. I saved a lot of hurdles. So yeah, I needed to learn the hard way to jump to not jump the steps and force myself to act small while I think big. It's very hard to do, but trust me, you need to think big but act small. People, when they act small, they think they are not going anywhere. And myself, I felt the same way. I thought that if I acted small, I'm not gonna achieve the vision. But you need to act small. You need to start small while you think big. So I think I've covered the fourth point in details. So yeah, the last point that I have, which is a bit personal, but yeah, this is what I mean by personal is not specifically business related, but it affects it very much. So the last year, I'm gonna give you a story from last year, so you can have context. Last year, when I made money from a small business, it's literally so small that I only hired two people for it, but I was on top of the world. Anyway, last year, at the beginning of the last year, January, February, around those 2 months, I made the decision to move out. I made a decision to move out my company from different countries. So the company was based in North Africa, and I moved it to Asia. But then now it's located in the US. Different story. So anyway, I made the decision to move the company from North Africa to Asia. Now, you may seem you may say that's a big step, right? It is. But me, the person that you are looking at, didn't think it through it, went and spent all of his money trying just to relocate the business. Of course, it didn't go well, obviously, because my first time doing it. And the second thing is, it's because I didn't do my research very much going to that country. Now, I don't regret it, right? I've learned a lot and I had good time with friends, etc. But the reason I'm telling you this story is because I want to tell you that the pain will fade and the win will last. Although that I didn't have any major win last year, but every single hurdle and every single hardship that I went through last year, like for example, like one day I remember a friend of mine came. I remember a friend of mine came to sleep with me at the room due to problems because we had visa stuff, etc. And we kept switching. No, I cry. I keep smiling at this. And we kept switching places. One night I sleep in the floor, and the other night he will sleep in the bed, and we kept switching every single night. But it was so hard, and both of us woke up so sweaty from the humid weather, and we had barely any money left from the travel expenses, business, trying to network with those people, trying to see what's the business situation that we need to put, etc., etc. It didn't go well at all. And I'm not trying to glamorize every single thing because trust me, guys, it was so hard. The 3 months went like a year. But what amazed me is when I came back to North Africa, uh, I was planning to go to Dubai, but last minute change. So when I came back to North Africa, after a month, I forgot every single problem. I forgot every single thing that I went through. I forgot every single hurdle that I went through. The only things that I remembered is the good times that I had with myself, with people, with my friend. That's the only things I remember. And that made me realize that, holy crap, like, you can go through painful shit. You can go through a lot of bad stuff in your life, and if you go over them after a month, you will forget about them and you will only remember the good things. So this is why people broke up, and after they broke up this is why people break up, and after they break up, they go back to each other, and again they break up, and the cycle keeps going. The reason they come back to each other and they try to get in the relationship again is because both of them start thinking of the good times, but they forget that they are not compatible to each other. So, in summary, I don't want to yap a lot. The pain will fade and the win will last. So I made a decision that I'm gonna keep failing and I'm just gonna win either ways, because like what happened to me last year, I'm going to forget about the fail a month later. So this is such a big, an eye-opening realization that I've realized the past year. I wouldn't be able to learn this 5 lessons if I didn't take the entrepreneurship journey serious. I love business. I'm obsessed with business. I hope you guys learned something from these 5 small lessons that I've learned. They may seem, some people may see the lessons obvious, like duh, but this is what I've learned the hard way for the whole year. Like the especially the last lesson, like that took me a whole year to realize. And also the fourth lesson, which is the each business model for the item. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna keep you updated with the new lessons if I have. And yeah, bye bye, peace.